and spice. Yeah. And make everything there feel nice. No. A little sugar and spice. Yeah. And make everything there feel nice. Yeah. It's shawty bad to the.
Welcome to the
Sugar
and Spice podcast. Cheers. Got some Aperol Spritzes today.
Ooh, this is good.
Yeah, right? Just a little bit tropical for,
Yes. That's a good one.
yeah, not bad, eh? Alrighty, guys. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back with some juiciness.
Something a little different.
Something very different compared
Yes.
to what we're used to.
And this was recommended
Yes,
by,
by my friend Megan.
yes. Thank
She's
you,
a
Megan.
she's a true crime girly to the end. That one.
Me too.
So we decided to dive into the Amy Bradley
Case.
situation.
So there's a Netflix doc on right now. Amy Bradley is missing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's 3 episodes, not very long. I think they're about an hour each.
less than an hour
Yeah.
piece. Yeah.
Very good, like very riveting. Like I was like, I need to know everything now. We need to figure this out because this is so intriguing to me. Safe to say, I never want to go on a cruise.
Right? That I know. That's what I got from this. This really, Netflix has really nailed how to do the 3-episode docuseries, like true crime
Yes.
docuseries. Like
Yes.
it followed a pretty, we'll talk about it later,
Yeah.
but a pretty formulaic, like,
They did it in sequential order. Like they really set you up good to kind of like beginning, middle, end,
yeah, but
round it around.
what we were talking about, like when you were in the second episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when like all of a sudden they're like, oh, by the way, she's gay. And I'm like,
That I find like with Netflix, like you kind of get a set of the stage in
yeah, like
in the first episode, and then in the second one they like to drop a little surprise or a little shocker or
Yeah.
whatever, and then so
yeah. So March 1998.
yes.
Mom and dad win a trip on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
So mom and dad are insurance like brokers or
Yeah.
agents or something. They work.
They made
for
the sales for the year.
Yeah, they were top salespeople. Must be nice.
Yeah,
Must be
nice incentive there.
Yeah.
Especially in the late 90s. That would have been quite an expensive trip.
From my own experience, that those were the good old days. Like,
When-
not that I was working then, but like,
But people cared about their because my mom, her company, they used to do killer Christmas parties and killer summer parties at the Toronto Yacht Club. And we'd always get presents. Like every Christmas, there would be a Santa. I got a new jewelry box every Christmas. And we're talking like those dark, deep mahogany wood, very nice ones. Like,
yeah, they don't do.
no, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody's. You know what though? When we were down in Mexico in March, there was like a company that was.
You know who also does that? Jet boats.
What?
Jet boat tours? They do a trip like that for their employees.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, must be nice. I'm lucky if I get a gift card. Okay, so this was what? It was a 7-day trip?
No,
8 days?
Was it,
7 or 8?
And they were hitting like 4
Yeah, so
different spots.
they're
You
going.
told us.
I did. So they're leaving out of San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes. I wrote that down.
Yes. So first stop is Aruba.
Yes.
Second stop is Curacao.
Yes.
Third stop is St. Martin.
That's where I stopped making.
Fourth is St. Thomas, and then they circle back and go to San Juan. So they had one cabin for all 4 of them.
Adults. Four adults.
She's
Adults.
23. Her brother's 21. Parents are in their mid 40s, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, I think she said
Mid
40
40 something. Yeah. So whatever. Like it's hey, sure, I'll share a room. Like I've shared a room with my brother. Like not a bed, but like we've shared a room.
I know.
When we went to the Dominican.
I mean, we'll talk about that later, but
Her brother gives me weird vibes. I'm just throwing that out there.
Absolutely.
I'm not 100% convinced that he's not involved. I don't know how he would be, but hey.
Oh, I've got something for you later.
Oh.
Reddit rabbit hole.
So the one thing that I really I connected with is so like when you're a single girl on a on a trip, let's say it was let's take a picture with your boyfriend, and she's like, oh no, that's my brother. That was me when we went to the Dominican. I was like, no, that's my brother. But when you're like a single girl, like of course the staff's going to pay attention to you. That's what they do.
Okay, but when let's talk about it later. Let's set the stage here. So
okay, so we go to a fancy dinner. It's the gala night. This is the first full night, I think, right? They had just arrived in Aruba. They went out looking around. Then they come back in. It's the gala night. So this is the fancy event that you go and have dinner. Everybody has dinner dressed up. It's like the captain's dinner, I guess is what they call it. And then after that, they go to the disco. Like everybody's dancing, having fun, partying. Like, so 2 a.m. she's seen dancing.
parents were tired.
Yeah, parents go to bed. Mom and dad conked out. Like,
yeah.
Brother, they're still partying. He's like, he sees his sister up on the balcony. Okay, like, I'm going to go to bed now. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, no problem. See you later. So at 3:40 a.m., she goes back and joins him. And they know this because your key card scans you in. Not out, though.
Not out.
So you have no idea when people leave.
There's no detection on the door, which would have been really great to say door open at any time. Only if you key in.
Don't even get me started on the lack of security cameras. Did you catch that?
Yes.
I was like, I know it's 98, but like you're telling me there's only security cameras in the common areas and the elevators, none in the hallways?
But that's pretty standard. Like in hotels, I think.
Not even the hallways?
No, I don't think so, for privacy reasons.
Well, privacy, they're not in the rooms.
Well, I know, but I was watching a different Netflix doc and they only had security cameras up to the elevators. That's crazy. There wasn't anything like in the actual hallways.
I guess they have them in stairwells too, right?
Maybe.
Because I don't know, there's just like a lot of black holes happening, right? Like there's a lot of unknown visual.
Because like in the Diddy doc or in the
you
Diddy
see her
thing,
getting dragged on the
yeah. So I don't know. Some, I guess, like whatever. Maybe it's state differences.
Maybe
of what's private, what's not private.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So like she joins her brother on the balcony. They're having a couple smokes, planning the day ahead. Blah blah blah. He's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. She says, you know what? I'm just gonna lay out here. I'm not feeling great. I just want the sea air. I want to just be out here. Cool.
I also don't want to share a bed with you. Maybe was also running through her.
Fair enough. Like I would be the same way. In that instance too, like I know in my mom and I would have shared a bed.
That I was saying that too. I was like, as like someone who has an opposite sex sibling, when we got to a certain age, I slept with my mom and 100%. My brother slept with my dad. And then eventually, like if there was 2 beds in the room, my brother slept on the pull-out couch.
Exactly. That's just like how it works.
Right.
So then 5:30 a.m., dad just like wakes up.
Randomly.
Sees her feet on, she's on the lounger on the balcony, just probably sleeping or whatever.
But he makes a very specific comment that he saw her legs from the waist down. So let's just mark that in our heads for later.
Okay.
Did you remember that?
Well, I did, but I didn't like really mark it as anything because I figured the curtains were probably closed, so then all he could see were feet.
We'll talk about it later.
And I didn't pick up on that because like obviously in the recreation video you can see the person moving their feet. So I'm assuming she obviously wasn't dead on the thing, which I'm just going to put out there. I don't think she's dead at all.
Okay.
And then he says he wakes back up at 6 a.m. He has this feeling, notices she's not there. Her shoes are still on the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And then her yellow t-shirt is like draped over the side of the couch, but can't find her anywhere. So then I think he said, maybe she went to go get coffee or is taking pictures. So then he starts to go look for her.
Okay.
I don't think it would be like my first Okay, she's 23. I was talking about this with Angela. Like, I'm like, I would assume she's in somebody else's room. Like, she got lucky. I don't know.
Well, or she's also 23. So yeah, maybe she did go get coffee, get up on the like top deck or something, be like, I want to take pictures. Or
I wouldn't instantly be worried. Like, no, he seemed panicked immediately. So I don't know if it was like a parental gut feeling thing.
Or a flag. Red flag. So, yeah, so he goes looking for her, starts panicking.
Yep.
They go to at around 6:30 or something.
I think it was like 7 a.m.
Oh, 7.
They go to like the captain people, the security, whoever.
And they ask
for a voice page.
Yes. And they're like, we're not doing this at 7 a.m.
100% fair. Like, I'm so sorry that you guys are going through something. But at that point, I did, in fact, agree with the captain. Or whatever his name was.
Guy,
which I did not like him in the end, but that's okay.
You know what? I wasn't his biggest fan. And then I went down that Reddit rabbit hole and I was like, you know what?
Like,
now maybe, okay.
So he was like, I'm so sorry, we can't be waking everybody up. Go look for her for a couple more hours and then come back.
It's only half an hour.
Oh, really? Because I thought they came back at 9 a.m. and they did she'd been missing for 3 hours.
At 9, they did the bomb search.
Oh, okay.
At 7:30, which is still really early, they did do the voice
True.
for her.
Yes.
Which resulted in nothing. And then people were also deboarding.
Yeah, so now mom's getting nervous and she's like, don't let anybody off. And I'm like, well, there's 2,000 other people who have paid for this vacation. You guys didn't. So at that point, I'm like, I get it. Like, you can't be if it was a child, I'm sure the situation would be different.
Absolutely. We were talking about that too. Like, if it was like if it was like a 9-year-old kid,
yes. like I would say like 18 and under. Let's say.
Oh yeah.
Like if it was a child,
emergency.
Yes.
Because it's also a lot easier to sneak a child.
Yes.
Out of a boat.
Yes.
Than it is a full-grown adult.
Yes. Yes. So now we're at the Charlie drill, like everybody's checking all the cabins. What I thought is weird is when he was like, yeah, staff members are responsible for checking their own cabins. And I'm like, that seems a little counterproductive because if a staff member did something, they'd be like, nope, my room's clean. Like, so I'm like, I feel like there should have been like a buddy system or like a supervisor should have gone to each floor or something. But whatever, they find nothing. So now they have just arrived at the port at Curacao. So because it's a missing person situation now, they have to alert the Coast Guard and the local authorities. So then they start doing the search of the water because at the area when they thought she could have fallen overboard would have been within the distance of the current that would have pulled her to shore.
Right.
So I agree with the police guy. He was like, there was no indication. There was no clothing, no nothing. Had she gotten eaten by sharks, there would have been like a hand, a leg, something would have been there.
With the boat, like, is it not possible for like someone to go through like the?
Not. I think it would depend on the current, but on the side of the boat you were on. But you would be floating for a little bit if you fell in. Like, you would be, like, floating. But they also said, like, she was like, oh, I could swim. Like, so my theory is, like, if she fell in and she wasn't drugged, let's say, and she was completely lucid, like, she would just swim to shore. Because it wasn't that far off.
Yeah, they were close enough.
Yeah.
He was a strong swimmer.
Yeah. So there's that. And now we're hitting 2 days later. Everybody's gotten back on from Curacao. Now they're headed to St. Martin.
Yeah.
So there just so happens to be a FBI field office in St. Martin.
St. Thomas.
Is it in St. Thomas? So they had 2 stops?
No. The field office is in St. Thomas. They came to St. Martin.
Oh yeah, they flew to St. Martin and then they took the little dinghy from St. Martin onto the boat because you can't actually dock on the island.
Right. And I was looking at those little dinghies and I was like,
oh, I know. I would be like, I'll stay on the boat today. Thank you so much. Like, seasickness.
Take all the gravel in the world for those things.
So now they're like, there's no body. There's no crime scene. My question is, why did the parents allow the room to be cleaned?
My other gripe with that is like, I'm sure we've all stayed in hotels and
they don't clean that fast.
Or well.
Yes.
No offense, but I
would imagine on a cruise it's even worse than a hotel.
Well, that's it. Like, I'm sorry, but they're not. I don't think the fact that there were no fingerprints on that railing, so suspicious.
And just the way they had put her shoes back up against the door, the table was pushed over, and I'm like, are we trying to make it look like something? Like, what is happening right now?
So like, for me, like, no fingerprints at all was like the biggest, because I'm like, there's no freaking way they wiped that railing. I don't believe it.
No. Why would you go? Nobody goes on the balcony to clean.
Getting a room clean while there are still people in it. Literally, all they're doing, making the beds, doing a quick once over in
Yeah,
the bathroom.
might do a
Vacuum. That's it.
Yeah.
They might like if there was junk on the balcony, they might
For
clean
sure.
up the junk.
They might come
off
and
the
sweep
balcony.
it.
But they're
not doing a full wipe down.
No.
No, not while you're staying in the room.
No.
And as far as I'm concerned, at this point, I'm sure the parents know that there's FBI coming now. So I would be like, nobody's allowed in this room right now. I need a different room to sleep in.
Right.
Like, or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's weird. It's just there's nothing. It was like, what happened? Like who's involved in this right now? So and then of course they're interviewing the family. Like, and then now so nothing really out of the ordinary from the interviews. Now flyers go up to all the passengers, right? So we meet, I didn't catch his name. I just called him videotape guy. I
didn't catch his name either, but
he was a promoter or a producer, and he was in charge of making like a promo video of the ship.
Yeah.
So now that he sees this flyer on his door, he goes, oh shit, I've seen this girl. Now he's going through all of his footage. So then he comes across at 2 a.m. He sees her dancing with Yellow, aka Alistair Douglas. That's his name, right?
Yep.
He was a bass player at one of the bands upstairs, right? So you can see on the video, we all see the clip, and they are dancing close together, which then I'm like, I thought she was gay. But okay.
Well,
I'm like,
I read some other stuff that she was actually like bisexual.
I could see that. Maybe she was like
okay, but like
either way, they were like dancing heavy together too.
When you saw like pictures of her when she was a child, I'm like,
that's a lesbian.
I'm like, did she like to the parents? Like, no, nothing there. Nothing,
I know.
Nothing.
No, because they're southern. They're southern Charleston, West Virginia. Let me tell you. So we met videotape guy. He gets the tapes. What I thought was also weird is he was like, I'm going through my footage, and security calls me and asks for my master copies. And he was like, the fuck you are?
Yeah.
Nobody gets my master copies, and immediately made a copy and gave it to the FBI. Right. I was like, smart man.
Yeah.
He must have been in journalism or something, because like that was weird. I'm like, why is security? Other than at the end of the day, I got to remember all of these staff members are staff of Royal Caribbean. Right? So at the end of the day, they've got to protect the company.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like HR. Like they're there to protect the company.
Absolutely.
And then we meet creepy neighbor Wayne. Oh, that just reminded me of something way too close to home. When he was like, yeah, I just went out there to watch the girls dance.
I know. Creepy old man on a cruise.
Yeah, literally. But I also have to remember that this was 20 years ago, so he probably would have been in his mid-40s. Either way, still creepy. Still creepy old man going and checking out all the girls dancing in the disco. Like, and I always travel on cruises alone. I always go on cruises alone. I'm like, yep, I know somebody like that too.
That tracks.
And then we also meet Lori and her friend. They're two 18-year-old girls. They had been talking to Amy and her brother throughout the night because, like you meet young people your age, you end up just hanging out with them.
And they said there were very few young people on the ship, so fair enough.
They're pretty sure most young people probably couldn't afford cruises back then.
Well, and I feel like up until more recently, I feel like cruising isn't like an older person thing.
Yeah, it's like 40 and over, like
50 and over maybe.
So they're partying, whatever, and then they leave, and they're not ready to go to bed because I guess they were staying with one of the girls' moms was with them too.
Yeah, but see, like they're off. They're even younger than them. They're off. Yeah. Is the mom like panicking?
I feel like it's like a buddy system, though, right? Like,
I guess
makes me feel a little bit better if there's a buddy system. I don't know. That's where I'm like, where the fuck was her brother? Anyway, because how did the brother not see her dancing with him and didn't mention it?
Mm-hmm.
That was another, like, I'm like, so you were still in the disco at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You would have seen them dancing, and that's not something you were going to mention to the
Let's
cops?
talk about it later.
So what's her name? Oh, Lori and her friend, they decide, like, you know what? Now we're at what? Between 5:30 and 6 a.m. They decide they want to go up and watch the sunrise because they're not tired yet. And then they look over, and the disco is like encased in this glass atrium, and they can see Yellow and Amy going up the clear glass elevator into the disco that is dark. And then what, like 15, 20 minutes later, they see him come walking around on the deck that they're on, and he just like walks right past them. I wouldn't have thought anything other than that, but she mentioned about the fact that he had been like trying to hit on them earlier in the night. So she was like, it was weird that all of a sudden he was alone, we were alone, and he just like stormed right past us.
But also, like, they were also drinking, so you have to take their
for sure
recounting of the time
for
with
sure
a grain of salt.
For sure. Yeah, and that's what they said. They said that so they left their cards in the room. So the FBI agent said they left their card in their room. So they're just speculating that the mom let them in sometime between 5:30 and 6 a.m. because if 5:30 was the last time that the dad saw her, and then 6 a.m. he didn't see her, so it has to be somehow in between there.
They think. But again, there's nothing to corroborate the time that they're giving because they didn't open their own cabin door.
Yes. So then essentially dead water, dead end. We have nothing to go on. We can't charge anybody. There's literally no evidence of anything.
The FBI did bring him in for questioning.
Yes.
Yellow for questioning. They did administer a polygraph.
Yes.
The polygraph was inconclusive. So he didn't fail it, but he didn't pass it either.
And either way, they wouldn't have been able to really do anything to him because he's not a citizen of the States. He's from Grenada.
Well, I know, but I think if
there was solid evidence, I'm sure they could have got like a RICO case or whatever, an international case. And then, of course, they all fly home from St. Thomas from a friend or whatever, right? So now we're jumping into, okay, so let's start the speculations now. This is after everybody's gone back home, and now we're talking about dealing with family members and stuff. And then that's when we're introduced to the fact that she came out as a lesbian. And I'm just like, okay, cool. What does this have to do with the story?
It's Netflix.
Other than the minute I saw that opening credit, like that opening sequence of the first episode where the one friend was like, it's the fun family, like everybody wants to be here. I'm like, that's a red flag to me because no family is ever that happy. Like there's got to be some sort of. And then you find out that they weren't super receptive to the fact that she was a lesbian.
And her dad went so far as to write her girlfriend at the time.
That didn't make sense to what he was saying in the interview.
Well, is he going to say in the interview to...
But they know they have the letter, so you might as well just say it. Yeah, I was not very nice in that letter.
No. So, I don't know. That to me also red flag. Like who writes their daughter's
girlfriend?
Whatever, a 3-page letter about how disappointed he is in them, in the person who's receiving the letter. Like that's weird. Like,
like I was like, yeah, we're definitely like Bible thumping, belt strip, United States, like good old all American family. Like
but I'm like, that's like, I don't know, like such an overstep of like boundaries, like so unacceptable. But
so then like dad and brother, they go back 24 days later. I'm like, 24 days later you went back? I was like, I would have fucking been back immediately. Like if that was my kid. I don't understand.
I don't understand the leaving and coming back.
Yeah, why would you leave? Like maybe the mom, okay, like honey, you go home. Like like we'll handle this.
Take you home, but
yeah, it's weird. Yeah. So whatever. Nothing's found back on Curacao. So whatever. Then we jump to an America's Most Wanted episode. So this is now December. So she's been missing for 9 months now. Then we meet David Carmichael, who has been on vacation with his friend in Curacao. They go there often. They're they're at a local beach. So you don't really go there, he said, unless you know about it, right?
Yeah.
He's like,
it's not a touristy
place. They scuba dive there. He says the reef's amazing. The wildlife is amazing. And then he remembers that like having this interaction with a guy or 2 guys and 1 girl. And he recalls the girl having a Tasmanian devil tattoo on her shoulder. So, and then the guy's like staring at him. And then I'm like, that was a weird interaction too, because nobody said anything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then obviously after he sees the most wanted, he contacts the FBI, but now we're talking it's been 9 months.
Right.
Like,
she could be anywhere.
she's been moved. Sorry, bro. So then we go January 1999. We meet Bill Hefner of the USS Chandler. He had a layover in Curacao. And we all know how, like, Navy boys like to party. So he decides he wants to go way inland, go to this, like, sketchy little brothel bar, right? And he's approached by 2 girls, one Hispanic, one white. The Hispanic girl walks away, and it's like, the white girl's like, I need help. I owe these guys money. I got off the boat to get drugs or whatever. Mind you, I totally forgot that the dad was approached by the taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, something about looking for a phone. And then he says, oh, she walked off that ship. She's on the island somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill's just like, I know how this works. Like, he's like, I've seen it before. I know how this game works. I give you money and then you rob me blind, blah, blah, blah. And he also doesn't want to report it because, like, he's 2 months. Yeah, he's 2 months from retiring with all of his benefits, all of his stuff. He doesn't want to be demoted and, like, lose everything because he was not where he should be. 1999, family tries to sue Royal Caribbean. It gets dismissed, of course. Like, you're not going to win against a freaking multi-billionaire company. And we have a new FBI agent takes over. So at that point, I think they went on Dr. Phil in May of 2005.
Yes.
They did a huge Dr. Phil episode because they had received, because they had set up a hotline and they had received pictures of her in very
pictures of a prostitute.
I am convinced it's her. I am convinced it's her, like, after them explaining about the facial recognition that they did and everything like that. Like, what's your take on that then?
Well, we'll have to get to it at the end because it's all part of the Reddit rabbit hole.
Oh, Reddit rabbit hole, of course. So for me, FBI, they're like, we forensically confirmed it. We measured. And I was like looking at like how her eye was wonky. And I'm like, to me, I was like, it's her. You can't tell me that it's not her. And then because of the Dr. Phil episode, we meet a Judy Mathers, who she was on in March of 2025, vacation in Barbados. She's in a restroom. She's in the toilet. And then like this guy walks in with a girl and she can hear the conversations happening and whatever. She's like, I'm just going to stay in here until he gets out. And then she gets out and she's like washing her hands and trying to talk to the girl because she's like, she looks super upset. And then she's like, oh, what's your name? And she goes like, Amy. And she's like, she had a distinct like Southern accent, right? And then she was just like, then I think, what did she start getting super like anxious and like all up in her face, right? So she was like, I just started playing the stupid tourist. And I was like, excuse me, pardon me, I gotta go now, bye. But then obviously she sees the Dr. Phil thing and then is like, oh shit, I think I met that girl.
Right.
And that would like, I feel like that's a type of situation where it would like jar you just enough to where you would remember what happened there. Because like this random girl.
Eyewitness testimony though is so like, think about it, like how many people do you encounter on a daily basis?
Oh, a lot. But I also remember a lot.
But it's like you remember some.
I just, because it was so weird.
But then you see something.
Yeah.
And then your brain starts to fill in those little gaps of information with whatever you're
But I'm thinking like if she, I can't remember what.
On Amy.
Maybe.
His name could have been Amy. Was it Amy Bradley?
Maybe. I don't know. To me, it sounds like super, like it's just weird that you would be meeting this white girl who's with this guy. I can't remember if she said she had the tattoo or not.
It's like,
she doesn't look well. She's kind of all getting up in your face and you're in a foreign country. You're like,
it would stand out to you. Like that sort of encounter would stand out to you. But then again, I say like, are you going to remember it perfectly months and months later after you've had many other things happen in the.
Exactly. Which is then they're like, it's a lead. We'll look into it. But Who knows? And then we jump to 19 years after the disappearance, and Yellow's daughter calls them. I was like, that's okay. Like, what do you know that you're having to call them, because now that you're grown up? So then she tells about how her mom, he came back from the cruise ship the one night and he was just like not about it, like angry, upset. We found like a whole case of pictures of like
white
Caucasian women.
Yeah, Caucasian
I
women.
was like, we can just say white. It's okay.
Yeah.
So,
but she calls her dad
mm-hmm.
on camera. So while he isn't in the documentary explicitly, we do hear his voice. We do hear the conversation. He is still like maintaining his innocence to her. I had nothing to do with it. Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, I got the sense in his voice. He's like, why do you keep bringing this up? Because I've told you a million times I had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I did catch him say is like, he never once denied the suitcase of pictures. All he asked her was like, did you see her in there?
But fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like, maybe like he was a bit of a creep, maybe, and
yeah.
like, but being a bit of a creep doesn't turn you into a human trafficker.
Fair.
There's lots of guys who are a bit of a creep.
Oh, for sure.
If they saw pretty girls, like,
for sure.
But and again, Amy, you know, like they talked about her being like life of the party, like really being extroverted. Fine, fair, and like a lot of people who are extroverted and like really friendly and all that can attract some attention.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm sorry,
I don't think she was like
that pretty.
Yeah.
She's not that pretty that he's walking sight unseen, having not known her, walking into the thing and being like, I want that picture.
Yeah. So that's where like there's a part of me that's like, was she marked? Like, did somebody, like, was she marked for some reason? Like, was she a super nice girl? And like, can she be easily manipulated or whatever? Where she's attractive enough where, let's say if she is being sex trafficked, whatever, she's attractive enough where if you let her grow her hair, she'll be attractive, but she's not too attractive where people will notice, like, if she's plastered all over like websites and stuff.
Yeah, but she's white.
Yeah.
She's a white woman. Like, she already has the advantage over minorities that people are gonna pay more attention to this case.
Absolutely.
So anyways, so Yellow basically continues to deny like everything that happens.
Yep.
Then we cut to her. We didn't even know that she had a current. I thought the girl that was
the girl that one with the short hair
that got the 3-page letter. I thought it was her, but they're like, then it was like, that's ex-girlfriend. The girlfriend at the time, when she went missing, apparently got a message in a bottle.
Yeah.
Had a fight because Amy had kissed someone else.
Yep.
Notice that they never said the gender of the person that she kissed.
Apparently
it's a guy.
I could see that. I could see she was drunk, like, and maybe she is just confused, because then after the girl said that, like, Amy said that, it just reaffirmed that my feelings for her.
So, but also she reads the message in a bottle. There are statements in there which I feel are suspect, like where she's like, "Save me."
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
but then she said, some of it, I was like, ooh, this is really weird. Like, she's like stranded, Amy, or whatever. But also too, then she was like, yeah, but we made up like a couple days before the trip. And I just like, the hard thing I have about like the whole, like, did she kill herself thing or whatever, is she got a new apartment. She had a new job. She just got a dog. She just got that new car. Like, there was just a lot of stuff that like would have been like looking forward to, and how everybody was like, she's gonna have the house we can all hang out in, the apartment and stuff like that. So that's where I really struggle with the, like, I don't think she killed herself. So I'm like, that to me is like sidebarred, whether somebody else killed her or she was smuggled off that ship somehow. But either way, now we're at the 20-year anniversary. So 2018, obviously they've now done progression pics, which I'm like, these are the worst progression pics I've ever seen in my fucking life.
They're so dirty in those progression pics. I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, did you just take her mom and like be like, this is what she should look like? I'm like, the picture that they got in the email, she would have been in her like, she would have just been 30 by that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you could have just aged that picture 10 years. And it like, I'm like, you made her look like this. Doesn't even look like her. I'm like, they're like, this is her with long hair and short hair, and I'm like,
literally just extended
yeah.
the hair, like
So I'm like, really, I'm pretty sure we have like much better technology. So now, obviously, then we meet this guy, Anthony Willis from Australia. So he's like, I call him like a true crime enthusiast, I guess. Like he
has a whole website.
I'm like, but like this isn't just a regular website.
Very detailed.
It has IP address tracking. It
Yes.
tracks how long you've been on pictures for, how many times you visit this.
But that was so eye-opening to hear about him talking about all that, because I'm like, man, oh man, like that's every website probably now.
Probably now, yeah. Every website that has cookies, that's what it means.
Yes, and that is has analytics.
So think of
they can see
Yeah.
how long are you spending on this part of the
Picture.
website.
This one here.
Yeah.
Like, how many times did you visit this?
Yes.
How many times did you visit that?
Yes.
Like, it's
a bit.
It's a bit jarring.
I know, because I was like, wow, I did not know they had the
Please
technology.
don't see how much I spend on Instagram.
Not only that, but it's like if you're online shopping, like that's when you leave a site, sometimes you get an email and they're like, hey, did you
left this in the cart?
No, I did not. I know I
wanted
didn't.
to see how much the shipping was. Thank you. So then he gets, like, I think I think that, what's his name? That David Carmichael guy reaches out to him.
Because he has some experience in doing.
I was like, oh, cool, bro. Like, I guess you're useful.
Yeah. So then he manages to put together some like IP.
They're like, let's start mining the data. So what I got from that is essentially they start tracking all the IP addresses, where they are, and each IP address gets a different ping for how many times it visits each page. And through this, they get one IP address that stands out from Barbados. So they also notice through their system that there are specific dates and holidays that this particular IP address like goes to a lot. So I think they said it's Thanksgiving. It had 15 hits in one day, and 38 minutes long was the average time for them. Christmas was 16 hits and 48 minutes long, and then on her mom's birthday, so 18 hits and 43 minutes long. So they were like, is it either people who took her checking to see if like anything new are they still safe? What's going on? Like in my mind, I'm like, do they need to move her again? Like something like that. Or is it her checking to see what's new? Right. And then that's just kind of how it's left.
Okay.
So now you've done the deep dive.
I've done a deep dive. So I did a Reddit deep dive, and like I will say with all Netflix documentaries, they pick and choose. They're painting a story. Like they're telling us
they're skewing it.
They're painting a narrative. The narrative that they want you to believe in this documentary is apparently the same as TikTok. A lot of, if you search this up on TikTok, the overriding theory is that she was trafficked.
Yeah.
If you go to Reddit, the overriding theory is she fell off the boat.
Okay.
So she's dead.
Yeah.
So there's a few reasons. Like if you look at human trafficking, for the most part, Amy would not be an ideal target for trafficking.
Fair.
She's a white woman. Her friend made a comment. Like, she's like, Amy was like, now, Amy and I are both the same size.
Yes.
Like, we're both the same height. She was probably a little bit, I would say, thinner than me because she was like in her early 20s, right? So, but probably similar type of builds. And so, I mean, me, myself, I might be able to put up a bit of a fight with a guy, but I'm not overpowering a man.
No.
There's no way.
No.
So the point that the friend was making was like, she would put up a fight, like she's not going to be hauled off in a suitcase easily.
Yeah.
So
my thought was when she got back up to the room with her brother and she was like, I'm not feeling well, I was already starting to think that she was starting to be drugged.
Oh. So the thing with the trafficking is like they're picking people, minorities, runaways,
yeah,
who already have a drug problem,
yeah,
vulnerable people who it's not hard for them to take them, to offer them more drugs, to offer them a safe place to stay, or like a safe place to stay. What do they have to gain by taking a white woman in her early 20s who's on vacation with her family?
Fair.
And the other thing is, it would be more believable if she had been taken from like a restaurant, if they had been at a stop, and she was out and she was taken at a beach, in the washroom, in a restaurant. A cruise ship is a closed system.
Yeah.
You're not like, the other thing they said was Yellow never got off the ship that day. When they docked in Curacao, none of the staff can get off the ship because they're still working.
Yeah.
Even though people are deboarding, there's still people that stay on the ship. So they still have to play like their instruments or whatever activities that they have to do on the boat. So he never got off the boat that day. And they're like, could you imagine if a crew member tried to bring up, you would need a massive suitcase to smuggle a human body off the boat.
Me being in hospitality, there are other forms, and those things would have been offloaded. Like food carts, food warmers, all of those things would have been unloaded to get rid of shit and then brought back on.
But where are they unloading to?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think
whatever's there
on the cruise. Everything on the boat stays on the boat. Like I think, and viewers feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but like they don't do like, it's not like an airplane where they're doing like a changeout when they're at a gate. Like all that stuff, I get it what you're saying. Like there's other places she could hide, but that's not getting taken off the boat then. Taken off the boat.
Yeah, so unless she didn't, so like I believe that the girls saw her with him in that elevator. Like I believe that because it's dark, you see them going up.
But there's no.
Like, but so then maybe she didn't. If she didn't, yes. But if this goes dark, that means it's been closed. So it closed at 3 a.m.
Right, and she didn't get back to the room till 3:40.
Fair, but those girls, they said like when they went up there, the sun was already starting to peak up. So that's not going to be 3 a.m.
But they're also drunk.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been drunk and I still could remember stuff, right? So take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is.
So, okay.
But maybe she didn't fall off her balcony. Maybe or whatever, right?
Okay. So if we toss out the human trafficking thing, because it's like, the other thing was that the pictures of the prostitute.
Yeah.
So there were other pictures that they didn't include in the documentary that showed areas of her body where she had the tattoos and the person had none.
Unless they covered it.
So the other thing was, they were saying that the person that said that it was Amy was a former FBI agent. The FBI themselves have never confirmed positively that that's Amy. And the reason why we know that is because they've never included those pictures in her file.
Oh, okay.
So what's been released to the public, it's still the And the reason why they didn't do the age progression on the like prostitute pictures is because they aren't able to confirm that it's her. So the only pictures that they have that they know are Amy are the ones like from her family.
And I don't understand why she would be like, oh, we had the forensics look at it and they measured her jawline, her nose, her cheekbone, and all. Like those features don't change.
Those features don't change, but you can have two people who are similar looking.
True. I just looked at the one picture and I was like, this, like the eye droop is too similar. The way her one eyebrow goes, the way her lips are, like, it was just too similar to not be true.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, so then how do you explain the guy who saw the girl with the tattoo on the beach?
Again, eyewitness testimony, not.
I know, but I feel like the Tasmanian devil with the basketball from Looney Tunes, that's a pretty distinct tattoo.
Yes, but they had already released information of what she looked like, and when they release information of people, they
include stuff like that.
Like she has a Tasmanian devil on her shoulder.
Yeah.
So the other thing, like, is okay. So if we take a step back and we look at her family and her family dynamics, weird.
They're so fucking weird.
They are
like you just still have her luggage thing upstairs, like just.
Okay, we'll park that. But so I think the term like one of the people on Reddit used was like they are like an enmeshed family.
Oh yeah, enmeshed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like they don't have like appropriate boundaries. And
No.
I see that in the son.
Oh yeah.
Like he
He's
never
so fucking creepy.
it's like he never left. Like he never started his own life.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
said he was like yeah.
it's like they're frozen in like the 90s when she disappeared.
Yeah.
Like I would think that if you went through something horrible and traumatic like that, you would want to have a child to bring a bit of joy into your family's life.
Yeah, like he's like, I never got married.
Amy's probably never coming back. So like,
and that's the thing. It's like, why are you like? I get it. I totally can understand the fact that like you want to remain hopeful, you want to do, but like it's been 20 years too. Even if she was trafficked, she's never coming home. Well, by this point, if she was trafficked, she probably has kids of her own with whoever. And
which is a weird fantasy for the mom to have because, like, okay,
yeah, that to me is weird.
You want your child to
be like raped and have kids.
Exactly, raped, tortured, drugged, just living a shitty life.
In my head, I was like, okay, if she's been trafficked, we're 20 years out now. She's definitely had kids of her own with whoever. She's got Stockholm syndrome or something, or she's been
still alive.
Well, yeah.
Even if she did get, so putting aside all the like, she's probably not trafficked, but putting aside all that,
yeah, she probably didn't last this long.
She's probably not.
And if she did, in my head, I'm like, they've made her the mother. So now, if there's younger girls coming into the trade, she has to take care of them.
Now. Yeah. So there's no way that she's still
no. That's where I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, so she either has kids that she needs to protect or something like that.
If she was trafficked and still alive, like we've got the technology now, there's no freaking way why she wouldn't and like her stuff is all over the internet. I'm sure she could easily get in contact with her parents and she hasn't.
Yeah.
So I'm like that right there. So she either if she is alive, she has Stockholm syndrome, or she has no interest in ever
being part of the family again. Like, she was like, this is my chance to get the fuck out.
So
they're crazy.
Now's the time. The family, the whole family needs to go to therapy desperately. They need to go to therapy. You need to like process your grief. How do you still have all her shit as it was in your attic?
Yes.
Her car.
Which I'm shocked that it's not still in her room, but that it's just all up in an attic. But even still, it's like her luggage untouched, her wallet untouched. It's just like weird. Like that's weird. And the one girl was like, I had to put distance between the family and I.
Probably because she was like, they're fucking weird.
Yeah, the one who was house sitting for them.
Yes.
She was like, she said
it nicely, but
she said it nicely. She was like, I just couldn't be around these people who think she's coming home.
Right.
Regardless of the situation, whether she's dead, trafficked, or she took off on her own. Because that's another option people aren't talking about. What if she just fucking took off on her own?
So, okay, so we'll get to so her she's super enmeshed with her family. Like, who the fuck? I get it, you won the thing, but who's sharing like a pillow couch with her brother? Like, it's weird. It's like weird. Having 4 adults in that tiny room. I'm pretty sure that room was meant for 2 adults.
Yeah.
And maybe one kid on the pillow couch.
3 max.
A child. Yeah.
3 max. And I'm like, did you have to like beg your bosses to let your kids come?
Weird. Anywho, so but with that, and also keep in mind, like, she's come out as a lesbian at this point. Her parents were not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her friends talked about, they're like, oh, Amy could hold her liquor. So I feel like there's also an element there of binge drinking because she's
that's
not
what they were
therapy, obviously.
And I feel like that's what they were trying to paint her as. So when the dad, like, whenever it was mentioned, oh, I went off the ship to go get drugs for me and my brother. I think she supposedly said that to the sailor guy. I'm like, oh, so that's why we started the second episode with her college life and her party life. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, everybody fucking drinks and parties in college. Like, what she's doing is not out of the norm.
It's not out of the norm, but apparently.
But if she's masking for shit and like covering.
And apparently, like, the footage from the ship, she was hammered.
Yeah.
And they did not show that in the documentary, but apparently she was like stumbling all over the place. Like, you could
I can believe it.
Yeah, you could, like, her brother was like, oh, it's only 7 beers. It's like, okay, well, maybe she had 1 here and then 6, bang, bang, bang.
I'm like, you also didn't mention the fact that she was dancing with this guy all night.
So, and then, so, like, you're not going to miss that. So,
And I could have a beer, but I could have also just done like 3 shots with people because she was up on the balcony.
That's just it. She's a young girl. So yeah, she may have only had 7 drinks.
Because that's what was on the tab, right?
But that's not to say there weren't other people buying drinks.
And he had gone out to get some air, came back in, and she was up on the balcony.
Right.
So, like, you're only on the balcony if somebody has, like, a booth or bottle or whatever, right? Like.
So, the other thing, like, with the family is that they were, like, talking about how the dad seemed to be a massive control freak. Like,
oh, I got that. Like,
so
100%.
A lot of what the dad says, apparently, like, his timeline stuff.
Nothing, when I was watching it, I was like, nothing he's telling me is making sense right now.
Right. So, and other people have picked up on that too.
And he's too calm.
See, that's
Mom's reaction, I believe. She's Mom is good. Mom, you're good.
Mom, you're good. But
Dad and brother are sketchy to me because why would, like, and the same reason, they both went back to Curacao.
Yes.
Like.
So, that was the other thing. So, another Redditor talked about how when you are remembering things, like even things from a long time ago, and you're retelling them, the core information of
facts stay the same.
Facts stay the same, but maybe like around the facts is a bit fuzzy because you're remembering it. It's a legitimate memory.
Yeah.
They're saying like the way the dad talks and the way he retells things, and the brother reads more like we have memorized a script and we're just reading from the script.
100%.
So that's why I was like,
100%.
take note of the way he said, he's like, I saw her from her legs, the waist down. Like, it's a weird.
Yeah, I would have just said, I just saw her feet.
Right. It's a weird description.
The only thing I can say is
specific.
Like, have they just retold it so many times to different, like, right? Just to different police, but don't get me wrong, I got super creepy vibes from the brother for sure. I was like, if this was today's day and age, he would be an incel.
Apparently, he's a huge homophobe.
I can see that.
Oh, but he is an incel. Like, never got married. Never, like.
He's a failure to launch.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
So, okay. So, with the dad, so apparently, like, they didn't talk about all the other stuff that went on. So, the parents did leave. The mom apparently took a bunch of sleeping pills, which is why, like, she didn't wake up through.
Makes sense.
Any of this.
I can see that.
The dad, though, at around 2:00 or something, gets up to go to the disco to check on the kids.
I think he mentions that. And then he was like, and then I go back to bed.
2 adult children. Like, what? Yeah. Like, why are you, and one's a male. So why are you getting up at 2 in the morning and why are you checking them? Then he wakes up when they come home. I'm like, fair. Sometimes the door.
But this is the thing too. Why, like, the brother, when she came back into the room at 3:45, he never said anything about, like, oh, she was drunk, she was hammered, like, she was slurring her words. Like, he didn't comment about her behavior at all, other than she said she wasn't feeling well.
So if we go down, if we still go down the dad path, like, so then he's up at 3 something, checking, like, they're home fine. Then he's up at 5. Then he's up at 6. So, like, what? Like, you're up and it's like, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Then he gets up at 6 o'clock, and we talked about it before. Like,
I can see why she went away to school.
It's not a normal response for an adult to get that worried about another adult on a cruise ship.
Yes.
Because they're like other people who've been on cruises, they're like, you can go on a cruise and like not see someone like the whole day, but you're like, they're another adult, so you know they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, you run into them in the evening and they're like, oh, hey.
If it was like, okay, we're like, they had talked about it the night before, we're gonna all meet for breakfast at 9 a.m. If she's not there at 9 a.m., then I start getting worried.
Because where are you? Because you're supposed to be here.
Other than it's like her shoes are on the balcony, but I'm sure she had other shoes with her.
No, apparently all her pairs of shoes were accounted for. That's the weird thing. So, because it's like, well, then what are you walking around in if you had left the room? So
fair.
So the theory, like one of the theories is, so she gets back to the room at 3:45. Mom's conked out on sleeping pills. Dad and brother and her start having a massive fight because he saw her dancing with the black guy. And
so then brother tells dad, because brother's back at the room first, which means brother clocks in, dad wakes up, they're out talking. I wonder if creepy fucking neighbor boy heard anything. Because didn't somebody say that they heard his TV on really, really loud. And you could still hear yelling and commotion. So maybe it wasn't his room.
The other room.
But I still don't understand why there was nothing in the water.
So, but again, the timelines are from the dad.
True.
So who's to say? So they're arguing.
But we know for a fact that she clocked into the room at 3:45, and they were within that tide range of Curacao.
Not at 3:45.
No.
At 5.
Ah.
And they thought he went over. She went over. So at 3:45, she clocks in. The three of them get into an argument.
I could see that on the balcony.
Now from there, so there's any number of scenarios that could have happened. So one, apparently her cigarettes and her camera were missing. So
I thought they said their cigarettes were there. I thought they said that her cigarettes were still on the table.
Balcony. Okay, so but her camera was
yes,
missing.
her camera. So that's why he thought she went to go take pictures.
So one theory is like she gets in a fight with them. She goes out on the balcony by herself. Remember how she was talking to the
Wayne.
So a theory, and there was like a thing that went around. A theory
I think because they're like scooped, right?
Yeah.
So like you can just be like, hey.
A theory is she was like, fuck them, I'm out of here.
Tried to crawl
across and fell because it was a sheer drop. And
that is plausible to me because if they're trying to be like
up in her face,
and if they're trying to like fucking smack her around, or let's say he slapped her in the face, like what the fuck are you doing with this guy? Blah blah blah. Yeah, and let's say if she tries to get around to Wayne's room, and even if they try to grab her, one slip and you're done. I could see that.
And then that also explains why that railing was.
They cleaned it.
Yes.
Yeah, because why would her print? So then they would have reached over and cleaned his.
So then that also explains the panic at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because shit went wrong. It did.
Yeah.
So
you're trying to get ahead of it now.
Right.
I could see that. That to me is more plausible than her killing herself. I don't think she would have killed herself.
My other possible theory, so she slipped trying to get away.
That to me is the most plausible.
The other one is, so remember how he made a comment also that the door was slightly ajar to the balcony? My other thing
is a random comment for you to fucking remember, bro.
If like what all the brother and the dad said are legitimate, like they were out there talking, laughing, whatever, and she was really feeling ill, like maybe she woke up at one point, was like, I need to get sick. Turned to go into the room, opened the door, was like, I'm not going to make it, ran over to the balcony, gets on the table that's right there to start throwing up. But then
she wouldn't have been, because they were quite high, so she wouldn't have been tall enough.
Not without standing on the table.
And I forget, because the picture you see of her at dinner, she's probably wearing heels, because I'm like, she looks fucking tall.
Yeah. No, so she would have climbed up on the table, goes to puke,
maybe goes too far.
Maybe goes too far.
Fair. I could see that too.
And then that also would track with the timeline where they're not close enough to port, but they're searching the right area. She fell before that.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, because for me, I don't think, like, suicide, I don't think that would have been a thing.
I don't think so either. Like, there was a couple of people on Reddit who were like, like, I've been depressed.
I don't think so, though. She just seemed like she had two... And not to get it wrong, people do that. People hide it well. But she had just made up with her girlfriend a couple days before. They were, like, she's getting her new apartment. She just got a dog. Like, I'm sorry, if I just got an animal, I would not be planning to off myself. Like, just in general.
But I feel like the brother and the dad's behavior is suspicious.
I believe mom has no idea what's going on.
No, absolutely.
And I feel like they're low-key keeping her in La La Land to avoid suspicion.
I think that's why they left her there, and then they went back to Curacao by themselves.
The one thing then that confuses me is that IP address then from Barbados.
Who knows? Like some creepy weirdo,
maybe
trying to
maybe. On my other hand, like my brain is like my book brain is like, did the dad and brother like pay somebody in Barbados after they heard that the one guy saw her in Barbados? They were like, right, and then the second lady came in.
Even that thing where they were driving in a car, and then he's like, I heard her say Brad. And
like another car was driving by. Brad
Bradley.
Hey, America.
So, but that was weird too. Like, there's no way. How would she even know that you're on this road.
She wouldn't have seen you. Like, yeah.
No.
And then the Tic Tacs. Did you catch that?
No.
I know.
I'm like,
you guys are just like feeding a story now.
Grasping at straws.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my suspicion
I can see that then.
lies with the dad and the brother, whether it was like
intentional, non-intentional, or
like she slipped going over, or she was indeed sick and slipped that way.
And now thinking back to when people were talking about how Wayne had super loud TV in his room going, but you could still hear shouting and they all thought it was coming from him.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're on the balcony, you have no idea where it's coming from. It's all echoey.
Right.
You know what? Yeah. And I, like, from the beginning, I was like, the dad and the brother are too fucking calm.
Oh, absolutely.
If this family is as close as you guys are, I did not see you guys shed a fucking tear.
No.
Mom, yeah, you're good.
Mom is
momming. Mom
desperately needs therapy.
At this point,
so bad.
At this point, mom needs a lobotomy because they need to just release her and let her grieve and stop feeding her fucking lies that your daughter's coming back.
Right.
He's not.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, so like, why was her t-shirt sitting there? Why are like the shoes perfectly laid out? It's like, what were you trying to do?
Right.
Right? And it's like, obviously he was like, yeah, like I got up at 6 and she wasn't there, but like you wouldn't wake your son up to be like, hey, did you see your sister?
Right.
And weird, like there's just some weird things like that too where I was just like, oh, what happened? But the biggest one for me was like, oh, so you're not going to tell your dad? Like you're not going to tell anybody that you saw her with this guy all night?
Right.
We're just going to let a third party guy on film.
Right.
Hey. That is plausible to me. That is plausible to me. So
I feel like it's more plausible than her getting trafficked. Because I feel like the other thing is like, what? So this yellow guy, he was never linked to any trafficking after this.
Yeah.
So what? He trafficked one girl,
and
that was it?
Yeah. My other thing was like, I'm like, how many people on this fucking cruise ship are in on it? That was my other thing, right? Because I'm like, you have somebody, I don't know, because, and the only thing that I said that was because the police chief in Curacao said that like it's a hot place for like cartel, and because you're so close to Venezuela.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the only thing I'm like, and because these are all local island people who work on these cruise ships, that they're not vetted as well. Okay. There was that lady who runs like the safety or whatever.
But yeah, but also like I think it was on Reddit or maybe somewhere else, but someone made the point that was like these jobs on a cruise ship are highly desired jobs by people on the island.
Everywhere, yes.
Right? Like,
yeah, it's the same as resorts. Like you want to go work there because it's a guaranteed job. You get good money.
You get tips.
And you get benefits and all of
that stuff. So why is he going to F it up by doing trafficking on the boat?
Yeah, and his wife was pregnant.
Right.
So, but yeah, so then whatever happened between them, like clearly she saw this suitcase and was like, you're a fucking creep. Like.
Well, and people are like, yeah, like he's like was hitting on, like, you're a womanizer. That doesn't automatically make you a human.
No, fair.
Right? So,
fair.
Like,
yeah.
So,
things to think about, guys. Yes. But it's safe to say I'll never go on a fucking cruise in my life.
I just could
not. I have no desire to be on the water that long. No. I just want to go lay at a resort.
Same. I just couldn't handle like I get seasick.
I wouldn't trust myself to not get seasick. No. Even though they go, you don't notice it. Bitch, I'd fucking notice it.
I would notice it too.
We went.
And then you're getting on those dinghies and you definitely notice it.
Yeah. We went, so in South Carolina, gambling is illegal. You cannot gamble in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can't do it. There's no lottery. There's no nothing.
Oh.
So there is a casino boat that
we in international waters?
Yes. Yes. And that was the worst experience of my fucking life.
Yeah.
I did it once. I would never do it again.
Yeah.
Because everything's underneath. You're playing the slots. And I was just like, I'm going upstairs because I feel like I'm going to puke.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm never going on a cruise. No, thank you.
No.
Not after seeing this and then after seeing the poop one.
I didn't watch I just saw I saw
like clips here and there.
And I'm just like, no, thank you. No.
I don't need to be enclosed with that many people.
No.
Like, and then after seeing the other one where the water slide broke and the lady fell, did you see that?
No.
I don't know if it was a Disney cruise or if it was another one, but it was one of the ones that had like the big water slides and literally a piece fell and she fell like 60 feet and died.
Oh.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No. So, anyway, guys, let us know what your thoughts are. What are your speculations and if you've done any more deep
Theories?
dives?
Yeah.
Did you actually take a look at the website? I like popped on just
Because I didn't want my IP showing up.
you have to log in. I did it at work. So I was like, oh, let me go see. But like you have to like log in and stuff like that. And then there's actually like I was just looking at like what the admins had posted, and like I think some of the videos posted are like the videos that the guy took of like the promo and stuff. And I was like, oh. I didn't just saw like the first like little picture of it, and then it was like, oh, this is Curacao, this is the port, this is that. And I'm like, this just seems like a travel agency website now. But safe to say, 20 years later, technology, like even in the 90s, technology was already like in 99, technology was already starting to develop more.
Yeah.
Yes, if she was out, like either she's out there, she doesn't ever want to be fucking found, she can't make contact, or she's dead, right? So it's like either way, let it fucking go. Like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm sorry to the mom. Like I'm so sorry that you lost your daughter and you're living in this world that your husband and your son have created for you.
Yes.
Because in cases like these, a lot of the times the parents break up because they can't handle the loss of a kid.
Child.
So what is he like? Just keeps feeding her drugs.
But you know what? They talked about I think one of the Reddit things I was reading, they talked about 2 other cases of women that had gone missing. Now, they ended up finding them both, and they were dead like the day that they went missing.
Yes.
But they had the same thing where there were a ton of eyewitnesses saying that they saw them places here, there, the other place. So that's another reason why people call eyewitness testimony into question, because
unless you're getting it like immediately,
you had 2
and
cases,
you have solid like video proof or whatever,
well-known cases where girls went missing, they died that day, so there was no possibility of a witness occurring, and they had witnesses.
And that makes the most sense is if it happened just after she got back into the room or whatever, right? So whether she got back in, brother and dad were probably already on the balcony
waiting for her.
Yeah. That's wild. Anyway, so give us a comment, guys. Let us know what you guys think about it. If you guys have seen it, like what your take is on it. I didn't like who was it? Was it the captain? Was it the cruise director guy at the end or whatever? And I was just like, bro, you could like maybe have a little bit of emotion.
But okay, so that goes back to this whole like, I feel like the cruise director felt like the dad was sketchy.
Maybe.
And also their lawsuit getting dismissed, it got dismissed because there were so many discrepancies in their testimony and their timelines.
Okay.
That's why it got dismissed. And that's why they didn't bring up why it got dismissed.
Yeah. And that I can understand too, because like it's and let alone like you're never going to win against a massive company like that unless you have solid evidence.
Right.
So anyway, guys, let us know what you think, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sugar and spice.